To protect, preserve, promote First Amendment freedoms across the United States.
Hey, good morning, Facebook
With
folks.
ADF for over a decade now. That's why I was disturbed to learn that they have been removed from Amazon's Smile program. That Smile program allows you to designate a charity of your choice to benefit from a small portion of your purchase on Amazon. ADF, see them online at adflegal.org, is donor supported. So they could very much benefit from that income stream. So why were they disqualified? Amazon has been leaning on the work of the
I saw that.
Poverty Law Center to determine who is and is not eligible for the Smile program. The SPLC has become little more than a fringe group of the left, though. It is not to be trusted. It's the SPLC that should be dumped. Amazon should shift course, and shift course today.
Amazon doesn't give a damn what you think.
No, they don't.
Whatever.
America's unique graduate leadership degree offered on its most beautiful campus.
The following program, paid for by Right Path Real Estate, does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership.
But
of the station.
It should.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry and Jason Bible. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
So this is biggest mistakes like folks we see people make.
Yeah.
It's,
yeah.
what the hell's with your hair this morning? You following my fashion advice here? Just roll right out of bed?
No, actually, I've showered and everything.
We're on the air now.
Well, I shower.
I just didn't feel like putting hair goop because it's raining and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And so
We ready, fellas?
we're ready. Sure, why not?
Okay. All right. Hot mics.
Hey, welcome to the show, Right Path Real Estate Radio. Yeah, why would we not be ready? I mean, this is just how we roll. Hey,
We've spent the last 7 hours in show prep.
right? Yeah,
I think you guys understand when we do the show, the immediately hour after, bang, we're back in the show prep for the next day.
That's totally how it's not.
Because we don't have about 1,000 other things going on. So
Yeah.
welcome to the show, folks. Today, we are going to talk about biggest mistakes we see investors make. I'm actually getting books ready right now for my my little trip to Mexico. I'm going to review some stuff while I'm on break. I'm going to go back through this. I'm going to actually go
I like
back
the picture on
to
the back.
You like that? Oh yeah, on the motorcycle.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty sweet.
That is, I think that's a Honda VTX 1300, something like that. So he's as you can imagine, someone who is very conservative is into the Japanese bikes. So
Yeah.
he, because Harleys are great when you're sitting on the side of the road. I like to jab the Harley guys a little bit. Anyway, so we're going to talk about biggest mistakes today. And we see new investors make. I was listening to Robert's, one of his things. I'm backlogged on my Facebook Lives from friends of mine. I was listening to Aaron Clary has a couple of new projects he's working on. I was listening to a couple of those things last night. Some of them were pretty long. So let's catch up on some Facebook Lives. And, it's funny. I was listening to some Gary Vaynerchuk last night and some other people.
Daniel says the biggest mistake people make is thinking they learn enough in a weekend to do it themselves.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good introductory course.
You know what's interesting is because I know that we see a bunch of people that come to the weekend event and then they, make a decision that they want to stop, learning from us at the weekend, right? Because we do offer an opportunity to continue past the weekend, right? And we see a lot of the folks that just make that decision, which fine, they have every right to do that, right? But then we see them at events. We see them at the Redneck Country Club. We see them. I'm sure I'll see some tonight at the Quest event at Rockefeller's, and then it's like, hey man, how's it going? Well, and it's just the tangents that they go off on.
Oh, it's almost like you can track when they first heard us.
Bad decision. Well,
so it's almost like 30 days post, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like the Krebs cycle of failed real estate investors.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like first 30 days is, well, I'm working on my business cards and my website.
Yeah, right. Or my marketing.
And there's always this
I'm working on my marketing list.
And in my mind, I always see like their hands moving and their shoulders moving a whole lot, they're running.
Yeah.
Like, I'm working on my marketing. And I'm like, working on your marketing?
Yeah.
You could do that on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. A couple of adult beverages, right?
And then, of course, my favorite, and I always talk trash about these people at the weekend retreat. hey, what kind of deals are you interested? Oh, anything where the numbers work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
and
a
since they
fail.
don't want to tell you what the numbers are, then that means they never have to be held accountable for letting a bad deal go.
Yeah, well, I'll do any deal that the numbers work. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, that's like 3,000 deals a month. So how many did you buy this month?
Yeah, right.
0.
Yeah,
Okay, so what numbers are you talking about here?
right.
It's amazing. So
Yeah,
I
there
see
were
that.
3,000 deals sold this last month where the numbers worked for an investor. How many of those did you grab?
Oh, a big goose egg.
Yeah, right.
Well, the numbers didn't really work for me. It's funny. It's like they take the high road, right?
Yeah, right.
The numbers really didn't work for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Oh, so anything more than $1, you don't want a property, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm really looking for 70%. I'm really looking for no money deals, Tom.
Yeah.
No money out of pocket.
Right.
Because I don't really want to invest.
Yeah, right.
I'm just kind of greedy that way.
Yeah.
So you
And
need
I
to-
want somebody else to find it for me and then
Right.
convince me that it's a good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing to me the biggest mistake I see in this business, and everyone uses different terms for it. So
Yeah, Brian says on here, knowledge without understanding how to build skill set equals failure.
yeah, it's fascinating when depending on who you talk to and what industry they're in. So Gary Vaynerchuk will say something like, "What's your ROI?" And really, what a lot of people miss is he's not talking about money. And I think a lot of people miss this in business. And that is whenever you sit down with somebody, you say, hey, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Oh, I want to make $50,000 a month. Have you ever made $50,000 a month in your life? No. Okay, so let's just take that off the table.
Yeah, it's
What
like,
is
have
it-
you ever made half of that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's try and figure out what it is you really want life to look like. And maybe that's a $10,000 a month income that you make passively. Or maybe you're one, like I know Allison, one of our members up in Dallas, absolutely loves doing she loves like that whole HGTV, flip this house, like taking the ugly house and seeing it transfer. I mean, she loves that part of the business. So she's all about having fun doing this. And for me, I'm like, I could care less if I go out and look at these houses anymore. So I don't say I'm jaded. I'm just like, doesn't matter. The house is a line on a spreadsheet for me. So for somebody like that who loves that part of the business, then she has structured her house flipping business in such a way that she gets to enjoy that benefit. Her ROI is having fun, seeing these things being transformed. So when you look at what is your, and I heard Robert talking about it this morning, what is your quote, why? And what I see is a lot of real estate investors get into this lofty nonsense of, I'm trying to do this to build my family's legacy and all that. And that's it. Don't get me wrong. That's important. But they never put a number on it, because if you put a number on it, then you are accountable. Instead, you can show up to networking events and say, well, this market,
I'm a real estate investor.
I'm a real estate investor, and the market's really tough right now, and I don't see numbers that work for me. And it's like, what the market is or is not doesn't matter as it relates to your goals.
I think next time I see somebody at a networking event, I go, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a real estate investor. Oh, yeah, how many did you do in the last 90 days? Well, none. Oh, well, then I'm a neurosurgeon.
Yeah, I'm a neurosurgeon here.
Well, how many brain surgeries did you do in the last 90
None.
days? None. I mean, if you yeah.
But I went to an event. I got a couple buddies that are
Yeah.
neurosurgeons, and
I know how
picked
to-
up their tab. We talked about work a little bit. I'm a neurosurgeon.
I know how to Google neurosurgery. If I could spell it right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Something with neuro in it.
Neuro.
Oh, gosh, I'm wound up today.
It's Wednesday. It's our sales meeting
Yeah.
for all our companies.
I know, right? Yeah.
I mean, here's the reality, guys. You've got to figure out exactly what you want. And I get it. We get a lot of these. Actually, we're getting a lot less. We get the folks that come into the weekend retreat. I'm going to make $100 million next year. And I'm like, no, you're not, dude. It
$11 billion.
I still feel sorry for the poor guy. I blew his dreams to pieces when he was like, well, I want to buy $25 million in commercial real estate by the end of the year. I said, bro, you realize it's June, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, just doing.
We know guys that do commercial real estate, and that would be a tough challenge if because unless you have that network established, I went to lunch with a good friend
with a
of ours,
buddy of ours, yeah.
and then went for drinks later that night, And he had been he rolled out of a commercial deal, and he's rolled that really into one commercial property in Rice Village, and then three. He bought like three, like a 16-plex, and then a 4-plex, and then just they're all on the same street, just from different. Just kind of fell in his lap, but it's you say it fell in his lap, but because he knows.
It's so funny. He's
your network, right?
He's one of the most successful multifamily guys we know
Right.
in the city, and it's just being as a consequence of being in the network. We get deals all the time.
Well, what you find is that there's one commercial real estate guy that knows all of these deals, and oftentimes they never hit the market. The signs are never up in the yard. I mean, commercial rarely is ever put up on HAR because the brokers know the people that are buying and what kind of numbers they're looking for and what they're going to trade at and stuff like that. And sure enough, he bought a deal for $1.5 million, I think he said, and because he had bought these three properties, and he said somebody like an unsolicited, hey, I'd like to buy this property, and he goes, well, look, I'm not really looking to sell it, but if you make me an offer, and so the guy started throwing some numbers at him and goes, really, you're gonna have to get like closer to 2, because he really didn't want to sell it, and the guy came back and said, okay, $1,950,000. So then the problem is now he's got to convince his tax guy and his attorney that no, really, I really did buy this not to flip it, but a 1031 exchange,
right?
And so now he's got but how do you not do that, right? I mean,
and then of course you got to convince the wife after you spent 10, 20 hours doing the due diligence on this thing,
right?
And then it's like, wait a minute, you just parked that, now you got to go find something else,
right?
It's like this whole fantasy of especially commercial, flipping commercial, like their baseball cards, is a total pain.
Not in this current market, right? There have been markets in the past where you could do that, but not this market.
But it's such a pain. Even deploying what a lot of people don't understand. Let's say you've got $25 million cash and you want $25 million commercial real estate in the next 6 months. Even doing one deal, you're going to be in DD for 30 to 60 days.
Oh, at least.
And so it's like there are, and it was so funny because I'm chatting with this guy, and this is when I came up with the idea of explaining to people how many deals are really out there. Because he said, hey, look, man, it's like Steph Curry. Curry goes out there and shoots 500 shots before and after a game or before and after practice. And I said, no, you don't understand. There's not 500 shots to take. When you get into commercial real estate, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they assume there's 500 shots to take.
1 minute.
There are 7 multifamily deals that sell in a month in Houston, Texas. That's it.
Oh, you're just a dream crusher.
I'm a realist, right? And so when I started looking, here's the question you need to ask when you get into any business. How big is the market?
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling people you are statistically unlikely to build wealth with multifamily or commercial real estate because there's just not enough of it. It's so much easier to do with single family. It's not even funny.
Hey, you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. We are a call-in number if you want to ask questions on how to find deals, how to fund deals, how to analyze deals, how to flip properties, how to buy and hold, how to buy, or how to wholesale. Yeah, all of that. See you on the other side of the break.
Mike's off.
I'll talk about it on the other side of the break, but I had a conversation yesterday with somebody. What's fascinating to me is that most people picture multifamily as nothing more than multiples of single family, right?
Oh, yeah, that's not true at all.
It's not at all. That it's like that 150 doors of multifamily is just like 100. It's even better than 150 single family houses.
Yeah.
And I said, no, it's really more like buying a machine shop. That when you buy a machine shop, that you're buying the business. So I want to talk about that on the other side of the break. And so somebody that I spoke to last night, I won't mention who it is on the air, but we know them, and so they're pretty well connected politically, and they've broken down some barriers in that area, and so like, yeah, but we want to build new multifamily, and I'm like, yeah, that train has passed. I mean, when the big hedge funds pull out of doing multifamily, you know it's not the best timing.
I can pull up all the permits for starts and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at what is it going for now? Do you think it's $2.25 a door for new?
Oh,
When I left,
yeah, it depends on the cost of land and all
when
that.
I left UT
Yeah.
with Outland, we were building new Class A at 1
The team at Benchmark
50 a door?
Yeah.
They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you.
Well, what you know is that they're building them on 7 caps, maybe 5 caps, and they're selling them for like 3 caps.
Benchmark has been in business
I mean, it's
for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000.
I mean, let me pull it up. I can tell you exactly all that stuff. Let me tinker around
and
on.
let us show you what we
Let's pull up our MSA.
569-4353. That's 281-569-4353.
Houston Woodlands,
Or
Sugarland.
online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353.
Housing.
Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009.
Occupancy
and
rate
has
is up
completed over
140
1,400 evaluations.
basis points
We're not
since
in the business
first
of
quarter of last
comparing
year. It's at
foundations or
89.7%
selling
for the whole market.
unnecessary peer work.
Effective
So we are
rent
in
is
the business of evaluating your
$1,022,
foundation.
up
Our product is
4.6%.
designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
Hi,
All right,
Clint
fellas,
Kuhn
1
here,
minute.
Attorney and avid real estate investor. You know the greatest mistake real estate investors make is not understanding the potential liability that exists from owning real estate. At Anderson Business, Legal, and Tax Advisors, we specialize in
is
protecting
just
real estate investors in all 50
insane.
states. In addition to
Where's my
structuring your
start-
business
oh, here's
for
the data.
optimum protection, we provide guidance so you pay the least
Let's look
amount
at
of taxes
permits.
available under the law. We have 150 employees that range from lawyers to CPAs to estate planners and much more. Download our free ebook, The Invisible Investor Strategy,
look at my
today
MSA.
at AndersonAdvisors.com or call for a free risk reduction analysis and financial blueprint at 800-706-4741. Anderson Business Advisors will help you keep more of what you earn. Call us today at 800-706-4741 and mention Right Path
Look
Real
at
Estate.
5+ units.
This is Business 1110.
All right, fellas, hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. So I was telling you, so we're talking about mistakes that people make. One of the mistakes that I make is in their thinking, right? And it's the thinking about multifamily versus single family.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, multifamily, I get economies of scale, and
Yeah.
it's like 100 units is like having 100 little single-family homes all in the same place, right?
And I had this conversation. I was driving yesterday from League City over to Sugar Land at like 4:30 in the afternoon. I don't recommend that. That's not a... yeah. Went
How
through
did you drive? Did you go up?
517 to Highway 6 and then Highway 6 across.
Oh,
Yeah.
Highway 6 is kind of crazy there at
It is.
59.
It is. Yeah, it is. So I was explaining on this entire trip that, hey, multifamily is not, like a bunch of single families. You can get a great opportunity. And one of the reasons why it's not, there's two reasons primarily. One is that when you're deploying that much capital, that it takes bigger dollars to do it. So when you're looking to exit, then your only exit is to sell to another investor when you're talking about multifamily. But on single family, you can either sell to an investor or you can divvy them up and sell them to individual end user owner occupants.
So this is what we call a liquidity premium.
Correct.
In other words, so single family is much more liquid than multifamily is. I could sell off a house today, be closed next week, right? Whenever I can get payoffs and, HOA. Usually the HOA takes forever.
Yeah.
So in about a week, I could sell a piece of single-family real estate. Multifamily is a completely different game.
Can't sell it in a week.
So one of the questions I always have for new investors say, what's the liquidity premium for owning multifamily? And
they're like, huh?
They go, what? There's no lake. There's not a pond near my
Yeah,
multifamily.
liquidity. There's plenty of water. The city provides the water.
Yeah, it's on city water,
It's
man.
on city water. We don't have it. And the well's plenty deep if we need one. Yeah, it's like Houston. They provide liquidity. No.
No,
And that's
not
when
at
you're
all.
like, oh, man, you got, ooh, wow.
Well, and it's kind of, the other thing I like to explain in multifamily is interest rate risk
Yeah.
versus refinance risk. A lot of the gurus from the front of the stage never talk about refinance risk. And that is, I buy this piece of multifamily.
Because it's not their problem.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. It is not their problem.
It is not their problem. There's no risk because they're not doing it.
Because they're not doing it, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's the problem. You get a 5-year balloon on a piece of real estate, and all of a sudden you're at year 4.5, and the bank doesn't want to loan on that asset class anymore.
Yeah.
The banks
Yeah,
are
but some
completely out
other
of
bank
mo-
will.
Sure.
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 Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or you can go into multifamily and get 30-year fixed rate mortgages.
Even
and-
single family, yeah.
Or single family. You can go into 30-year fixed rate mortgages, and you're good for 30 years.
Yeah, so I was trying to describe that, really, if you're buying a machine shop that makes $1 million a year net profit, that the fact that it sits on some land and has a building is kind of just secondary as an issue, right? That what you're really buying is the business. You could move the business if you wanted to. Now, you can't move the business of multifamily, but it's really a business first and foremost. It's the business of housing people. And that it's evaluated. And I always ask people, everybody gets it. Not one person has ever failed to answer this correctly. Everyone understands. If I say, hey, if you're going to buy a business, you want to buy low or you want to buy high?
Buy low.
Yeah, everybody gets that one right.
All right, what's the
Now
next
say,
question?
okay, if you want to sell a business, do you want to sell low or do you want to sell high?
High.
Yeah. You know what? I have pretty much 100% success ratio with those questions. Ergo, are apartments, multifamily, commercial, is it selling high or is it selling low as an industry?
High.
Okay, so I feel like I do one of those little like Three Stooges scratching my head like, like
Yeah.
one of those, Tim Allen and the handyman guy, just kind of like,
Yeah.
so what? So where's the disconnect here? But Tom, you don't understand. I'll just look for me a deal.
Yeah, there's 7 of those a month.
Yeah,
The savviest multifamily investors we know in the city of Houston.
they're in cash.
They're all in cash.
Yeah.
They've sold everything.
Yeah.
They're not even bothering to. I mean, they get pitched deals all the time. But I don't know. Our friend that you had lunch with, I mean, he's probably getting pitch deals, but he's like, no, next. Like literally swipe left, swipe right on his phone.
Right.
I mean, it's that. It's. There are not that many.
He's
deals.
buying in areas that he knows that are appreciating areas. I mean, he's just looking to park the money for a while and.
Well, and if he's buying like 2 units and 4 units, those are really single family.
Yeah, of
It's
course,
not,
right.
It's not multifamily.
Right.
So it's, and plus the areas of town, when you buy stuff like that, it's really just a placeholder, right?
Yeah.
So,
If I told you where he's buying, I mean, if it's on Westheimer,
yeah, it's
inside the Beltway, you're like
Yeah.
like closer to Loop 610 than inside than the Beltway. You're
yeah,
like,
that's a land play.
yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That's a land play that cash flows,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It's like,
It's a little bit like, how can they afford to put a driving range on that piece of property? And then you go, oh, well, they don't really need the money, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they lease it to some driving range, and it's a land play.
and who cares,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
right.
but you know what? For people listening to this radio show, that doesn't work for 99.999%
Yeah, right.
of you, right? These are the most savvy of savvy investors. This is like, it's so funny.
These are typically people have a net worth of greater than $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about what they're doing when you have a net worth, and because what
Well,
happens is
it's not only net worth; they're extremely sophisticated when it comes to real estate.
well, here that's the other thing is that they also have a level of sophistication and knowledge that they've gained creating the $20 million of net worth, right, or more. And so it's like that's a process. You can't microwave a lot of that knowledge.
So, I'll occasionally get somebody will ask me like, "Hey, Jason, where are you buying your rental properties at?" And I'll say, "Look, man, I can explain it to you, but if you're brand new to real estate, I'm just telling you go to the sticks and get or go to the suburbs and get the 322s. If I explain to you some of the stuff that I'm doing, it is not going to make any sense to you. But for 99% of you guys, it's this type of house and this type of neighborhood. Make sure it cash flows. Make sure you have a good property management company and a good, all that kind of stuff. If you as you become more sophisticated, you get to, you have a better skill set. You have more tools at your disposal.
I never even used the tool.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah,
I never.
Fast Track uses. You mean for the weekend?
Yeah, I never, not once.
I saw the tool sitting up there when I got on stage, and I looked
never-
at Andy. He goes, he hadn't used it yet because I was going to move
Yeah.
it away so I could put some other stuff
Right.
on our table. He's like, oh no, leave the tool up there. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We have a special tool Tom uses as an analogy for Subject 2.
Yeah.
Because I talked a little about Sub 2
You
this
did, right?
weekend.
I
so,
didn't. I never got to it.
Yeah, this past weekend was a different.
Yeah, we were
one, that's for
distracted by other stuff.
sure. Yeah. So let's talk about the next weekend retreat. And I want to explain a little bit about what's going on. We are going to do our weekend retreats here at our office. And for those of you who
That's gonna be awesome.
cannot make it to our office, we are going to stream these online.
Live.
Live online. It'll be live streamed to those who join Right Path. And essentially what we're doing is we're building a club level membership. So you can come to our weekend retreats as often as you like. You can attend online. Just know that we're going to have limited seating here in our office in Houston. I don't know, how many can we seat here? Is it 70 or 80 or 50?
About 7. Depends on if we're going to have tables or not. And I don't
okay.
know that we have to do that. So
anyways, we've got limited seating here. However, it's all going to be streamed live over the interwebs. And so you can attend anytime. We do not have that club level up on our website yet. But if you'd like to get email notification before we send it out to the masses, send an email to support at Right Path Real Estate, and we will get you on that list. But yeah, for those of you who are out of state, we get a lot of people that listen to us, nationally. We got some people internationally that watch and listen. And so if you'd like to go to the weekend retreat and you'd like to see it live, then this is the way to do it. So in any case, just stay tuned to the old Right Path Real Estate website, and when it goes live, we will fire an email out to you guys. But so other big mistakes that we see in real estate investors make, not knowing what they want. And so they'll turn this into, I like to call it the graduate school of real estate. They think, I got to start out with wholesaling and then flipping.
Yeah, because
and then
wholesale is the
rental properties.
easiest.
Yeah, wholesaling so
which is
easy.
not.
And then I'm going to flip properties, and then I'm going to get into multifamily, and then I'm going to get into big commercial, and then I'm going to get into industrial. And it's like, hey, what are you trying to accomplish? I don't know. Well, I'd like to make $50,000 a month. Really? You'd really like to make that? I know guys that do that just in their buy and hold portfolio. And here's what I'll tell you. It took years to build that. And then you got to ask yourself, do I really
2
want to work
minutes.
that hard to build that?
I'm noticing on Facebook, Brad says never saw the Zillow tool.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we had a Zillow discussion this weekend.
Like, oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So really the question is, what is it you're trying to accomplish? Oh, in 5 years I want to make $100,000 a month in passive income. No, you really don't. You don't know what you're asking.
Yeah.
What is it that you're trying to accomplish? You can accomplish just about anything in life provided you have enough time. So how hard do you want to work to build this? And I'll go back to some of the things I started the show with when we were talking about Gary Vaynerchuk. You guys all have different goals and how you want to get to those different goals. And trust me, if you don't know where you want to go, you may end up in a place you never wanted to be.
1 minute.
And I think that's really important to know.
I just heard a dog bark.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Somebody go, "Ruff." What's that mean when a dog barks? When you throw a rock and a dog barks, what's that mean?
Yeah. That dog got hit.
That dog got hit. So what is it that you're really trying to accomplish? Do you really want to work 100 hours a week to build a $100,000 a month income? I'm willing to bet probably not. Most of you would be fine with $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. So how do we build that in a way in which our second job is not building a real estate portfolio? How do you do that passively over a handful of years so you can retire early or continue to work where you're at, but just have a second income? We're talking more about that on the other side of the breaks. Jason Bible, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
All right.
I think Brad's our other troll. He's going to be fun to have in the group.
Yes.
Selecting a foundation.
Hey guys,
and their
when are you going over the
products
Zillow
is a
tool?
lot like a game of
Yeah.
chance. You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation repair industry as a whole doesn't carry a license nor is it regulated. However, Foundation Check utilizes professional engineers to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes, binders, and the agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. It's there for you. Call Houston's leading real estate risk management experts, Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas, 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned about the new TRID rules and closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately, and with tons of communication. You'll have a dedicated team of a coordinator and a contract-to-close associate. Give me a call today at 713-579-3611.
Did you watch any of that Rockets game last night?
I did not. I heard the last, like any basketball game, show up in the fourth quarter, right?
That's all I saw.
Well, that's because you were sitting in your car on Highway 6.
Well, so I went and had, my daughter had a band, like the spring band recital, basically, right? So got a chance to, and my mom went with me, and then I took her to Mod Pizza afterwards. So by the time we got done, I mean, that didn't get done till like 8:45. Time go eat pizza, drop her off at 9:30.
Yeah.
So I listened to the end of the third quarter on the radio going back to my place, and then watched like the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. It was unbelievable. I mean, hearing what had just happened, and I mean, like, they're like, yeah, the Rockets, are being outscored like 38-17, and then I heard they were down by like 7, and I'm like, what? Yeah, and then ended the third quarter down by 10, and I'm like, well,
boys,
they're either gonna man up or who for Golden State to only get 12 in the fourth.
Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
Unbelievable. Especially because Harden didn't look like, he wasn't just lights up, Sometimes he just gets in that groove. He's got the little shake going, and boom, he's just nailing the threes like you can't stop it. I saw him take 2 or 3 shots, and he was not, he was off. He was just off. And I'm like, man, they still did it? That was incredible.
I watched a little bit of the pregame, and Chuck had some great points. He said, Harden, he's like, Harden's a great player, but he's not the guy that makes everybody a good player, right?
That's right.
So he said that's the problem with Houston in the playoffs is Harden is just not that guy, and you realize, you're like, yeah, that's it. You go back to any championship, and it doesn't matter what sport it is. That's really the big issue, right? Can we make everybody good? Because the superstars are great during the season. They're going to have their times that they really bring it home, if you will, during the playoffs, but it's everybody being good. It's where does the coach spend his most time? It's not coaching Tom Brady, right? It's coaching these other guys. If we can get him just above average, we're going to win championships.
I noticed even when they bring it up the floor, Harden actually is probably the slowest to get across the half-court line.
Yes.
So then they only have like 17 seconds to go.
Yes.
And it's like to run the entire offense. And yet Chris Paul will get it across pretty quick. And I find that when they get across and they've got 20 seconds left to go.
Yeah, you got more time to work.
Yeah, right. They kill it. So anyhow.
Well, Harden's kind of that old school point guard. It's hustle here, boys.
Chop, chop.
All right, gentlemen, we ready?
All right.
Oh, whatever.
All right, fellas, here we go.
All right.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio. If you want to call in, this is our third and longest session. 713-785-1817 if you want to ask any questions. If there's a place where you're stuck, we actually threw out a challenge at the last Redneck Country Club. We said, hey, Jason and I will sit down. We've got 3 10-minute segments we'll do each. If you're stuck someplace in your business, where most people are stuck is really between the ears. The actual logistics of going out, looking at a property, analyzing the deal, all of that's the relatively easy part of this business. Most people get stuck between the ears, worrying about stuff that most of the time is never even going to be a factor, or getting ready to get ready. It's a little bit like, people that want to suit up but never want to practice. People that, want to practice but never actually get in the game. I mean, it's just kind of like there's so much preparedness. What I know is that the people that grow the most in sports are the ones that are actually out there competing. I used to be a very competitive racquetball player. And I got more experience from playing other guys. If I could, and some of the best racquetball players, they will spend hours and hours and hours just doing drills by themselves. There are specific racquetball drills. You get up next to the wall, you drop the ball, you hit it as low as you can, make it bounce twice. It's all about ball control, things like that. But that only gets you to a certain level in terms of skill set. Like, it's different just draining threes with nobody in your face. It's the reason why you don't need a 7-footer to block your three. What you find is those short coaches, and they have those paddles, right? They have those broomsticks, right? Yeah. They actually have brooms. I think it started out with brooms. Put a broom in the guys, because that guy can be 7 feet, right?
Yeah, they do the same thing in football, right?
Right.
They're just practicing swatting that ball out of the way. But it's a classic example of cycling's the same way. You know how you get faster on the bike?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on the bike.
You start riding more.
Go ride fast on the bike, right?
Well, and you go ride against guys who are going to absolutely tear your wheel off, right?
Right.
I mean, it's that simple. So how do I get better at real estate? Well, make sure you're focused on the right kind of real estate.
Right.
That's the hardest part of this whole thing, and then it's just focused on banging those out, right?
Yeah, right.
And you're going to learn once you start doing.
Yeah, and so you're a pretty fast rider, right? You've ridden fast on bikes before. And so what would happen for you if you went out with a new rider? Because you get, hey Jason, I want to go riding with you today, right? And you go, sure, come on. Maybe it's a business associate or something like that. You say, yeah, let's go riding. And what you find is that if you're going riding and they want to go, even if they just bought a brand new bike, they've got the new helmet, they've got the bicycle shorts, all of that, and then you want to take off and do 20 miles an hour or more, right? And he can do maybe 15 or 16. So then you're typically going to slow down to his pace because you're going to be a nice guy, right? But what does that do for you in terms of a workout?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, when I used to knew people, oh man, you play racquetball? Yeah, come out and teach me how to. And I mean, oh man, I just.
So I mean, you could take anybody, even the most fit CrossFit person in the world, and you could put them on a $15,000 bike, and I will get on a beach cruiser, and they will get smoked for 40 miles.
Right.
It's a skill set that's practiced in that environment. The Boy Scouts did a big bike ride this weekend.
Yeah.
And they told Sarah and I, they said, this was right up y'all's alley. Y'all should have came. And my wife and I were like, And then we got the rest of the story. It took them 6 hours to go 28 miles. And Sarah looks at him. She goes, we do that.
That's
over
5 miles an hour.
Yeah. And but it was so funny.
Y'all do that in an hour and a half, right?
Well, it was so funny because the Boy Scouts said, well, we stopped for lunch. And I'm like, we did the same thing a couple weekends ago, and we did 80 miles at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's no way.
Yeah.
No way, right? So, but it's the same. You get better. You've said this a zillion times when we talk about sales. The more you do it,
the better
you get at it.
Yeah.
The more you like it.
Yeah.
The problem is that most investors don't ever get started with the more you do it. And they have all these, they if it to death, right? What if this happens? What if that happens? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know? Because we've done 100 of these things, and that's never happened. We do 100 a year, and we've never. Well, what if? Just do, go. You just need to go.
Yeah.
It's like just get going. And it's. I heard this a lot this weekend. Well, I'm going to go to this class. I'm going to go to that class. I'm going to go to this. How are you ever going to get to your degree? You're just randomly picking college classes out of the course catalog without ever looking, what is the degree I'm trying to obtain 5 years from now? What does retirement look like 5 years from now? Oh, no, I'm just going to take more classes. Taking more classes does not get you to your goal unless those classes are directly dedicated to that degree plan. And it's a 5-year plan. I've told people this before. I tell them weekend retreat. I tell them wherever I get. If you're doing this to buy 1 or 2 houses, just stop now. Don't waste your time. If you're doing this to get rich and all that other stuff in less than 2 years, this is not for you. Go do something else. If you got a 5-year plan, you plan on owning I don't want to say a bunch of real estate, but 10 plus houses. You start to get some scale.
10 houses could really make a difference.
Makes a huge difference.
10 houses will, I mean, it's like when you look at how many people retire that don't make it to millionaire status in their entire lifetime, right? Like that's 30, 35, 40 years of working their entire life, and they don't hit, a 7-figure net worth, right? Mm-hmm. And what you realize is that you could literally do that in 20 years passively. I mean, just put, if people, instead of putting money into their 401k with the retirement and all that, if they just bought a single family house a year for 20 years and then just waited till retirement, they would have probably a $2 to $3 million net worth.
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah. And then, which is a better retirement than, 90% of Americans retire with, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like, it's so funny because it's not like you've got to buy a gazillion of these things. You don't. If you want to retire in 5 years.
And when I say it's got to be one, I mean, I don't mean like a one. Here's the other thing that I see using a baseball analogy is that when people get into this business, it's they want to start out because they're so risk averse. They want to start out with only hitting a grand slam home run. But if you talk to anybody that plays baseball, you can't be risk averse and hit a grand slam.
Right.
I mean, you got to take a lot of swings. You got to strike out a bunch of times. You're going to hit a lot of singles, more singles than doubles, more doubles than triples. Can't say it's more triples than home runs because actually statistically you hit more home runs than triples nowadays. But
you're already there, right?
Yeah, it's because I should say it's more triples than inside the park home runs. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're only going for home runs, and then you bring up the point that it's almost like people are looking for that deal that is so no-brainer, so to speak, right? And we've addressed this before. We talked about it a little bit on the weekend retreat. Is that oftentimes people look for deals on MLS, and the way that they look at a deal is, okay, property's listed for $350 on MLS. Run the numbers based on the price at $350. Oh, it doesn't work at $350. On to the next property.
Yep.
And you can go through hundreds of properties a week doing that and not find any deals.
That's right.
Or you can say, hey, at what number is this a deal, right? And you run the analysis, what number would I buy this property at? Make an offer at that. They either say yes or no. If they say no, move on. Do the next property like that. You'll go through fewer properties, but you'll buy more houses. I mean, there's a property I was at yesterday that was listed for $360. Everybody in the marketplace could have seen that property at $360.
Yep.
We bought it for $221.
And the agent told us they're not going to take that. They're not going to take it. They're not going to take any less than $360. Not going to take it. Not going to take it. Not going to take it. Well, they did, and we bought it.
Yeah, and it's and what most people, and it's not. Truth be told, the agent didn't tell us that they wouldn't take that. What happened is that they had no idea what they would take. What they knew what the seller had told them, but the seller can change his mind when he's presented with facts, right? And a good salesperson will present new information. Oftentimes, every single person has been in a situation before where they say, well, you asked me that question, I'll answer it like this. However, then you go back and you present them with new information, right? You give them, quote unquote, the rest of the story.
Right.
And then, based on this new information, I'll now say this, right? And it's completely different. And that's really our job as investors, is to produce the information necessary for the seller to make the decision that's in their best interest and in your best interest, which are oftentimes, more often than not, they're aligned. And then, but Tom, and I hear all the excuses that we use as reasons why that doesn't work. And most of that is just head trash. It's our stinking thinking.
Yeah, and so I think you go back to, what is it you're trying to accomplish?
Yes.
What are the type of houses we want to buy to build wealth and income? And the reality is that this is really not that hard.
It's not.
It's truth be told, you start buying a lot of real estate, it's mindlessly boring. With the exception to working directly with the sellers, because the sellers all have kind of crazy stories.
Yeah.
But aside from that, this is really not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not.
I went and met with a seller yesterday. Really sweet little old lady. And,
how was that?
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah.
She didn't have 25 cats.
Oh, that's
she did have a really cute little wiener dog, and very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice house. I mean, it took on some water. And it's been remediated. She kind of got ripped off by a contractor, which
we are going to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
You get ready, guys. We're going to see a lot of houses where, hey, I got ripped off by a contractor, and now I need to sell the house. That's going to be this next phase of this thing.
Well, and she actually wants to sell it to move into the house next door, which it had been her mom and dad's house. So she'd lived in this house for like 47 years and had been living next to mom and dad.
Okay.
And mom and dad passed away, and literally it goes up this hill, and mom and dad's house did not flood, and hers did.
Okay.
So there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, she was really sweet.
Are we going to buy it or what?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
We buy houses.
That's
We'll
right.
get back from the break, and we're going to talk more about this. Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.
Mike's off.
I basically ran out of time with her when I looked at Waze, and I said, I've got to leave like right now in order to make it to my daughter's thing. And she's so sweet. She's not in a hurry or anything like that, and I don't even think she's talking to anyone else. So I figured I'd come back here and run my comps and run rental comps.
Yeah.
It'd make a nice rental house.
You know, one thing I think we can do, we haven't done it, but I've now got systems in place where I could do it. We could build a gigantic referral network.
Yeah.
Comprehensive analysis
yeah.
of the market. Give NextGen a call at 713-346-9911.
And it's not like we got to buy 100 of these things. It's 1 or 2 a month, right?
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to
So
give our borrowers and
evidently,
referral
I see
partners
Derek's
an
on
amazing
here.
Yeah.
experience during
Mitch
the loan
Stevens
process.
and the
My team
boys
believes
are
in
still in
treating people
Cancun.
and
Yeah.
They're supposed to be in
before
Cancun
results.
through the
Our
weekend.
company
So
concentrates
I'm flying
on
in, I
building
think,
those
Friday
teams who operate
morning.
with
Yeah.
structure,
So I'll see if I can
process,
find those
and
guys. You know,
recognition for going the extra
not like
mile
Cancun's
for
that
you.
big.
Right.
This way, we have the energy to make this your best home
So,
purchase
Derek, did
ever.
you go
Give
out
us a
there
call
or no?
today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews.
So I'll
it
show you
gets
where
done
this
right,
is.
And complete the work in a proper order so,
So
it
you
gets
see
done fast.
that and
No more
that
managing it
and
yourself.
stuff.
No more doing the work
So
yourself.
right in
Fast Track
here.
Remodeling really does
Oh,
manage
you don't
it all.
say those houses
so give
flooded.
us a call today
Yeah,
at
right.
832-742-9992.
It's
Again, that's 832
this house right there.
Oh, okay. Mom and Dad are one of
Mom
those.
and Dad, this one here.
fasttrackremodeling.com.
Yeah, huge house.
Did you know
right
that
here
there are
and
over
right here.
$24 trillion in retirement accounts in the U.S.? Imagine if you could use someone's IRA to fund all of your deals. Well, you can. Quest
So she
IRA
owns
is based
this one
locally
with her
here in
brother.
Houston, Texas. At Quest IRA,
And
we
then-
offer retirement
Your brother's still
accounts
alive?
that can
Yeah.
be used to invest in
Yeah,
real
retired,
estate,
lives out in the
promissory
country.
notes, private entities, and much more.
But she wants
Many
to
of our
buy
clients
her brother's
loan
half,
money
and he's
from their
agreed to sell it.
IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events, weekly educational classes, and free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at questira.com or
Is that
call
right?
us at 1-855-FUN-IRAs to tap into the $24 trillion in retirement accounts in the
Is that the
U.S.
same-
Call Quest
I don't know.
IRA at 1-855-FUN-IRAs or go to our website,
I think there's more to that whole
questira.com.
story than we're.
Uh-huh.
There's something else going on. I
30
sense a
seconds.
disturbance in force.
Yeah.
That I can't put my finger on.
Uh-huh.
Experts agree.
We can talk about
Single-family
that
real
off.
estate is one
Yeah.
of the best
Off air.
investments you can make. Find out how JB Fund Services offers a 9% preferred return and up to a 13% waterfall. Call us today at 281-915-0906 or visit our website, jbfundservices.com. That's 281-915-0906. This investment is offered to accredited investors.
This is Business 1110.
Hot mics.
Hey, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. And want to tell you about our next weekend event. Actually, our next event that we're going to have is going to be tonight. It's not our event, but I'm going to be playing some Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, if you want to get whooped, Tom is going to give you a whooping in poker.
So...
Oh, you don't seem to like that when I talk trash.
Yeah,
on your
actually,
behalf,
you
right?
know, it's what you know. It's here's what I know is I know how these casino nights go.
Oh yeah,
and it's not like a traditional tournament. First off, it's funny money, right?
Right.
And truth be told, if you're building up your funny money, poker's not the fastest way to do that. Blackjack would be the fastest way to do that but most people don't know how to play blackjack correctly anyway. And so it's all about how many hands per hour can you get. And Hold'em is a relatively slow game. You can have bigger pots, but most people aren't going to have bigger pots. And you'll have varying levels of skill sets from amateurs to, good players. And I've been known to play a time or two. And I've won a little bit. So anyhow, it's going to be a good time, and it's for a good cause. It's most of the money is going to be going for Parkinson's research, and we've made this announcement before that one of the founders of Quest IRA has been diagnosed within the last year with Parkinson's, and so you should come out to the event. It's definitely going to be a great event. So that's tonight, and then
so where do they sign up?
So I know that they can go to questira.com. And
there's a discount code.
There is a discount code. What's the discount code? Do you know it?
It's RPRE20.
Yeah, RPRE20. I think it's 20% off because you're going to get it for it's a normal $25 ticket. So RPRE20, and that gets a $25 ticket for $20. But you can just go to questira.com, go to the event section across the top, scroll down to where it says Houston. The very first event there is going to be is there, and then just RPRE, which stands for Right Path Real Estate. So RPRE20, and get $5 off the tickets, 20% off. And then we also have a bus tour that's on our website, and then we also have our next weekend retreat. And those are all the events that are on our website right now. So
great.
And then I also know that if you're in Dallas, if you're listening in Dallas, we'll be there June 6th. So definitely want to plan on attending at Gillies. So be looking for an email. And the great thing about that event is it's free food, free beer if you want.
Beer, all kinds of beer too.
Yeah, all kinds of beer.
Good tasty beers too.
Yeah. So free food, free beer, and lots of good technical content. Yeah. So looking forward to that. That's next Wednesday. That's a week from today.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting. Just go to rightpathrealestate.com.
So any final parting words?
No. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Yeah, so, and between now and then, because you'll just have come back, right? So you'll be all tan.
No, I'll be pink.
You'll be looking like the tan man.
I'll be pink. That's really what it looks. I'll be a nice shade of pink.
Yeah.
So
who doesn't like pink?
Who doesn't like? Yeah, I mean, just gonna be this right. I'm trying to keep it from being turned into a lobster. So I'll be a nice pink color. My wife will be a nice tan color, but I'll be a pink. So. In any case, guys,
Daniel, that was for
Wednesday.
you.
I will see you guys next Wednesday. Tom will be on the show for the next couple of days. So hopefully someone is in here supervising. It's Jason Bible, Tom Perry, Right Path Real Estate.
Hey, have a great